What's up? What's the word?
It's too much correlation in her saying, I'm doing this every day. I'm fighting for my life. And pulling up outside the school, it was giving McDonald's R. Kelly.
But why she have to use that fighting for my life?
She did not have to say that. I instantly thought of R. Kelly. I'm out here fighting for my life.
What didn't make it better is she the school bus is right there. She behind the school bus twerking, and it looked like she twerking on the school bus.
Yeah, it don't look sexy.
Why is you twerking at a school though? Like, this is why they kicked you out. My question
okay. I understand because I've been in a position where people have asked me, hey, can we get this artist to come to school? And I'm always like, are you sure you want this person to come to your school? Have you listened to this person's music, first off? And granted, I do think that's Sexyy Red make a lot more fun songs. Like, she's kind of, I don't want to say she toning it down, but she giving us a variety of, like, I'm real Sexyy Red, and okay, I think this can be played in schools on the radio at some point. So I understand why they booked her. The kids like her. We like her. The world likes Sexyy Red. I don't think
that was appropriate for them to book her and then kick her out when she is herself. Like, the girl came.
So you wanted her to come in smelling like weed?
I just feel like you booked her knowing who she is and what she represents. Why would you do that? And expect
because you could take a shower and not smoke until after you leave. You don't gotta.
You as well as I know that once weed gets around, even if it's in your hair, like, you could do it if you gonna come smelling like it whether you try to or not sometimes.
No, she had just got that little 27 piece too. That was fresh. That 27 piece was not weed induced at all.
And you smell like weed.
She could have just took her shower. She could have took her shower, went in a sprinter with her friends and her team, and got there and smoked after. That's it. She could have just waited.
I just feel like, what do you expect? But I also don't feel like it was appropriate for them to book her in the first place.
I agree.
But she's done plenty. Y'all don't forget she brought book bags to the school in St. Louis. She's done a lot of community events with the radio station out there. Shout out to my girl Storm. Yeah, she's done a lot of radio gigs where she was like in restaurants with the kids, and she had like community events with the kids, and she always gave back to her community. So I understand why they booked her. She just could have just waited to spark the blunt.
Probably the major issue because she smelled like weed. I don't think
So y'all are sitting here both saying y'all think it's appropriate that they booked this girl to a school.
Yes.
Wild.
Young Thug have been at school before.
Wild.
Look what he had.
Was he performing?
No. I don't.
Yes, he performed.
Yeah, he did perform. He did. All right, so first
Young and May came to the school
so what's
she don't even make music no more.
So
yes, she do. She just came out. Don't do that.
She actually got some dope records that I listen to.
She really do.
Part of my mental health album.
Please.
I do have a mental health album, a playlist.
You know he had a spiritual journey.
Of rap music of Young and May.
Yeah, she got some
Sexyy
bars.
Red.
She's an artist.
Yeah, Sexyy Red on my mental health album too. Continue.
So Jay, what is your exact? Before we move on from this, what is your exact issue with Sexyy Red coming up to the school?
I just don't think it's appropriate. Like, shorty whole image is about sex, and you bringing that to a school.
Get It Sexy is an empowerment song.
So this is my take on this. This is
appropriate.
So this is my take, right? So I feel like it's
always like her. Let's not. I love Sexyy Red. I just don't think it's appropriate to be at school.
I want to say I can see why you would say that, and this is the pushback I'm gonna get. Like, neither one of us, I'm not gonna say I don't right you wrong. But what I'm gonna say is the pushback that I'm gonna give to you on this subject matter is that when you're trying to, as an educator, when you're trying to relate to your children, you're trying to help them retain information. You're trying to figure out how to get them excited about coming to school and motivate them, right? In a perfect world, you would want them to get motivated by scientists. You want them to get motivated by astronauts. You want them to get motivated by lawyers and doctors and policemen. You know, like the everyday person, the you and I's, right?
Or like Kurt Franklin.
Yeah, or Kurt Franklin, your pastor.
Not
but
Kurt
in this
Franklin.
in this complete in this situation, like majority of the culture is influenced by entertainment, athletes, right? So if you can get her in front of the kids, and I'm not saying this is what Sexyy was going to do, but when I say when you have this ability to this type of access to these entertainers and these people with the influence, you as the educator, just like you have like game plans and teaching plans, you as the educator, when you bring them person into your environment, you got to make sure the content and that situation is tailored to empower and have an end game of why you do it.
So here's my
pushback. I don't think they had that, and as a result, you counsel her because she was smelling like weed. There was no communication on her team. Like, yo, I need you to be this type of way. Like how when we seen like Cardi B do certain things or different people do certain things. Glorilla, you see the press run she on, like how her team is making her look and being prepared to be in certain environments. I don't think that in the school was communicated properly. On top of that, when you don't do that, you allow for anything to happen. So now Sexyy Red, and being her authentic self, what she do? She's outside dancing on top of cars. So now the image and the image of that whole situation is bad, right? Because you disrespected her and not being in clear line of communication with her, and then you feel like she's disrespecting. And I just go back, and I know this is a long little, whatever we call this, a long little monologue, but it goes back to when BREE, when you always telling me like the way you bring somebody on and bring somebody aboard, you got to communicate what's the deliverable.
Oh, you be listening to me?
Yeah. I always listen to y'all. I tell y'all are here because y'all are better than me. So y'all bring the best out of me.
I agree.
So, yeah. So it's like, yo, when you brought Sexyy Red to this school, whoever said this is the idea should have known, like, okay, this is who she is. We know it's clear as club who she is. This is how we're going to use her in this situation. I know use can be used as a bad terminology, but this is the best way to have Sexyy Red at our school and how it can affect our children.
Yeah, I feel like that part wasn't clear.
I also feel like they could have chose someone else, because if we're arguing what you just said, the athletes, the rappers, why we couldn't bring somebody with an education background that had Meg Thee Stallion has an education background. There's other rappers who have backgrounds in certain things that can sway both sides. We can have this person come and be like, yo, speak to the kids and do it eloquently. Also be yourself in the midst of that. They have an influence. Except I just think she was the wrong person to choose to do this. And
I agree with that too, but also there's also the point of you want people that come from the same type of environment that the kids are in. Maybe it's not the best school was she in St. Louis? I'm not sure. Let's just say she was in St. Louis. Maybe it was not the best school in St. Louis. Maybe it's a school that's equivalent to the school that she came up in St. Louis. Maybe a school in the hood. And a lot of the times, because I know even my little cousins, like, you're not going to tell me that I could be like this person if this person didn't grow up the way that I came up. So Sexyy Red is very much so more relatable to those kids than a lot of other Megan Thee Stallion who came from the suburbs of Houston.
I understand that.
Ain't on top of this too.
Sexyy Red don't have no educational background, so how's she gonna go and talk to the kids about staying in school? She
got a GED, high school diploma.
So let's once again you narrate from the point. The point is that you have, for one, we can say all these people while you name all these people, right? But at the same time, you gotta go off who you have access to.
Okay, that's fair.
Because you gotta know who you have access to. So that's who you have access to. Cool. You know what I mean? This could have definitely, this situation, if handled appropriately, if the content would have been right, the situation would have been right, you could have leveraged this to get more people down the line. So
let me ask you something though. You don't feel like her team has also should take some of the responsibility? I mean, common sense would say, don't show up like this, or don't twerk outside. Like, because I think that's a terrible look. You twerking outside and there's a bunch of teenagers around. Like,
I think that goes without being said. I think we already went over that part. Like, all parties involved, like the school was bogus for that, and then Sexyy Red team was bogus for that. So the communication, there was no one around to take charge of the situation, not understanding the magnitude of what it is. That's the same thing with the J. Cole conversation. Like, you have to understand the magnitude of the person you are when you're doing certain shit. So whatever we do, we have to do it. You know what I'm saying? And this one, we have to be very strategic of how we do it. So I think that's just always just that step was just missing. That's all.
Okay.
Hey. What's up? What's the word?